Aqua here, welcome back to Draconic Sports. In today's video, we're going over week one's winners and losers. Make sure to leave a comment down below doing your own winners and losers. While you're at it, drop a like. And if you want, join the Discord to talk sports with other sports fans in the link in the description. Anyways, let's get into week one's winners and losers. With our first winner, which is a sad day to be a Lions fan, you're going to see this all throughout these winners and losers. We have the Green Bay Packers, who absolutely dominated the Lions from start to finish. There was really not a point after that first drive where I really felt the Lions really had a good realistic chance of coming back in that game. It looked like complete domination. The offense never got going. Put simply, Micah Parsons got that one sack. He didn't do a lot this game. I mean, he wasn't on the field the entire time. And he did at least get pressure when he was there. And that one sack, something I was really hoping he would end this day with 0 sacks, but he had to rub it in. And on top of it, the Lions just couldn't get the run game started, and I think that's single-handedly why this game did not go the way the Lions wanted it to. But simply, the running never got off the ground. Gibbs looked awful. He looked like a receiver with his 10 receptions. And the Goff couldn't even throw the ball anywhere on the field. We'll get to that when we get to the Lions section. Spoiler, who's our next loser. And yeah, the Packers had complete control of this game the entire time. There was never a point where, the Lions were in this game. It was just complete domination. Like, the defense got better in the second half, but it didn't matter because the offense never got off. As stated, our first loser, the Detroit Lions, there was a lot of run blocking assignments and just honestly blocking assignments missed throughout this entire time. As you can see this picture in the end zone. Yeah, just Montgomery's trying to run out of the end zone. They just leave a defender completely unblocked. And stuff like this was happening all game. There was just awful blocking, and which led to the run game never getting off the ground. There was never any big runs. Like Detroit is known for the run game, and it never got off the ground because the O-line just did not do their job whatsoever. And because the offense couldn't run the ball, they were just a one-dimensional passing game. And Goff couldn't take any long shots because the line couldn't block long enough to get any long-distance throws out. Jameson Williams was basically non-existent because the O-line couldn't block at all. It was just a bunch of short passes. The average is less than 5 yards an attempt. It was just pathetic watching this offensive performance. They couldn't do anything in the red zone either. And put simply, the defense left leaving wide receivers just wide open on third down, where it looked like Detroit was going to get a pivotal stop. They just leave someone wide open for a mile conversion. Like, it was just pathetic watching it. The Packers just completely dominated this game from start to finish, and it was just a powerful performance from a team that won 15 games last year and went 6-0 in division. And they can't obviously do that now because they just lost in division to start the season out. If they lose against the Bears next week, it's probably going to be a rough season for the Lions. But I gotta believe this coaching staff's gonna bring things back, or at least try to minimize these awful basic mistakes they're making with the blocking scheme. So we can only hope to see the Lions off this list next week. But if they are on this week next week, this is gonna be a rough season for me. Speaking of rubbing it in the Lions fans, our winner number 2, Aaron Rodgers. His first performance with 4 touchdowns and no interception to that MVP season in 2021 with the Packers. He led his offense very well this game. 34 points dropped on the road. This is like the most points I've seen from a Steelers team in a long time. It's just ridiculous how well the Steelers offense did. Honestly, the defense didn't even come to play. Part of the reason why Aaron Rodgers is here, specifically not the Steelers. The Steelers, even though no one in the division won, they did not look like the Celtics that game. There was no defense, it looked like. I don't know how Justin Fields of all teams is carving you up, but still, regardless, this is about Aaron Rodgers, not the Steelers. He spread the ball really well. 7 players with at least 3 receptions each. It was just ridiculous. He was finding targets everywhere, and did a really good job throughout the entire game, not putting the balls in harm's way. But simply, Aaron Rodgers easily the winner this week, and none less against the Jets too. Has to sting so much seeing him win in Metfield and be the cause of another Jets loss, this time in a different uniform. Easily a big loser of week 2. Mention the biggest loser in Europe. If you comment down below who you think is the biggest loser this week, though I have my pick as the final loser in the list, you'll see. But simply, Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott, and that got him kicked out immediately because guess what? Spitting on someone is literally battery and assault. That is like an actual crime. You cannot just spit on someone for obvious reasons. I mean, unless you have consent. I'm just saying, I don't think Dak gave him consent to spit on him. Yeah, you got him removed before the game even started. You took 0 defensive snaps, and it showed. There was no pressure on Dak Prescott pretty much that entire game. Dak could throw the ball wherever he wanted, partially because, they don't have a CB3. After their 2 rookies from last season, They let Rodgers walk, they let Slay walk, and guess what? Now they can't cover both these wide receivers on the Cowboys. Pickens and CeeDee Lamb both managed to do really well because they can't cover both of them. And put simply, they got 0 pressure on Dak Prescott this game, and it led to the Cowboys going to a strong lead. Sure, they didn't lose this game, but Carter could have made this game feel a lot better because this looked like a really poor performance by the Eagles. I'll have to see next week if they bounce back, and Carter maybe isn't the issue this game, but still, you cannot do that, and he's not going to make any money next week. Frankly, I think he should be suspended for 3 weeks for doing such a thing. You can't just spit on someone. This is one of the most avoidable things ever. It's taunting, sure, is one thing, but you are spitting on someone. Anyways, let's get on to our next winner. Our next winner, we have Bengals fans, not the Bengals. The Bengals did not look good last week, just for clarification. This is their first win in week 1 since 2021 when they went to the Super Bowl. Put simply, the defense actually kind of played kind of well. They only let up 16 points, even though it really should have been 21 points. But regardless, they did a good job not letting up that many points. And put simply, the offense, they looked flat. It did not look good. They only put up 17 points for a reason, because they didn't look good out there. This is a team that should be throwing up an easy, like, in the 20s. You would think like 25, 20, 27, 28 points on this team. No, they did nothing that game, remotely in that ballpark of that game. But regardless of how flat the offense still looked, and despite this is still Burrow starting out slow, Bengals fans can at least celebrate. They won. They finally won this week 1 game, and now they physically cannot start 0-3, which means maybe they can just actually make the playoffs this year instead of losing to the Patriots, costing them everything. Next up, our next biggest loser, we have the Carolina Panthers. Put simply, Bryce Young took some really good strides at the start of last season, looked really good last season, doing some impressive overtime wins, and even giving some scares to good teams like the Bucs and the Eagles. Put simply, what we saw this weekend was not good at all. Bryce Young with multiple interceptions and fumbles, it looked really bad. Even with J.C. Horn's amazing interception that game, they could not do anything in that game. The defense honestly did not look good. It was still better than the absolute travesty that was last year's Carolina Panthers defense, but that's not really saying much. But this offense majorly regressed, and Cooper Hubbard didn't even look like that amazing like he did last season. I'm not really sure what to think of this Panthers team. I had them as a 7-win team before going into this season, but I really don't know if we're even gonna see 5 wins out of this team based on that performance. Maybe the Jaguars are just really that good this year. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, let's get on to our next winner. For our 4th winner, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a huge win. Last year they got swept by the division rivals, the Falcons, and now they come out starting out the gates hot. And not only did they start off 1-0, nobody else in the division started 1-0. Everyone else in their division lost. But this is a major win for the Buccaneers. They have to start off with a nice division lead. And maybe they just won't even look back this year and dominate the division. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Either way, Baker, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Even this game that should have gone to overtime. Buccaneers defense definitely has some question marks on that end. Offense looks good. But the rookie they drafted in the first round this year, Mecca Buka, 2 touchdown performance. Put simply, the Buccaneers fans should be feeling good, as they looked really good in week 1. Loser number 4, we have Bo Nix. Every other quarterback that had multiple turnovers, threw 2 or more interceptions, all of them lost, except Bo Nix. Bo Nix had 2 interceptions and a fumble, and only had a 62% completion percentage, which you want that in like the 70s, and it's not the low 60s. That is not where you want that at all. A lot of overthrows. He did at least complete some passes. Traylon Franklin, the Oregon rookie they drafted last year, the same draft class as Bo Nix. There's maybe some decent things to take away from this game, but only 1 passing touchdown against the Titans and so many turnovers. It's just not ideal. The main reason they won this game, their defense still looked good. Their defense from last year was good. It got better, so no surprise that their defense meant to keep them in this game. But they didn't even win by a lot. Their defense still led up 12 points. If Cam Ward wasn't a rookie quarterback, this might have been different. But they came out of this week with a winner. Hopefully, Bo Nix will look better next week. But that game did not look good at all. As in for our biggest winner this week, I gotta give it to Quinton Johnson. Put simply, he did nothing his first 2 years in the NFL. He was drafted to be this amazing wide receiver out of TCU. He has not lived up to it. But this game, 2 touchdowns. Could have had a third, but to be fair, he caught 5 out of his 7 targets for 79 yards. That is amazing. He led his team as the leading wide receiver and looked like the best wide receiver on the field that night. And looked like the wide receiver one he was drafted to be. Put simply, by far his best game. And coming into his 3rd year, this could be a magical season. This could be the 1,000 receiving yard season he needs. Or, actually, he's actually on pace for 1,500 yards right now after this game. We'll have to remain and see if that actually stays on pace. But either way, huge winner of week 1. And this could be Justin Herbert's new favorite target this year. Easily our biggest loser, though, has to go to the Miami Dolphins. Put simply, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. Tua looked awful this game. Literally, as the game starts off, Tua's throwing an interception. He got benched for Zach Wilson, who didn't really look that much better, but at least he didn't turn the ball over. Should not be giving up 33 points to Daniel Jones. Cut from the Giants, who were starting Russell Wilson, who did not look good today either. Nobody looked good on the field. Also, speaking of not looking good, their defense looked awful this game. They don't have corners. They had 0 corners and good corners in this game. Their cornerback 1 is Rasul Douglas, who is not like the worst thing ever, but he is not a cornerback number 1. They cannot guard the receivers. It's not like the Colts have like the best receivers in the world either. Like Downs, Pierce, Pittman, like these are all good wide receivers. I'm not saying they're bad by any means, but like these are not someone like Tyreek Hill. Speaking of Tyreek Hill, who's having a complete meltdown on the sideline. He clearly claimed he walked back to his statements and wanted to be traded. You cannot convince me for a second he wants to be on this team based on how he's reacting. I don't know if I can fully blame him based on how this team has been showing themselves. I will be shocked if this team turns it around, but they have the Patriots next week at home. So maybe, just maybe this team can look better next week. Right now, they look like the worst team in the NFL. At the end of the day, they're playing the Colts. No, there are other teams like the Lions And like the Giants, that didn't look good this week. Hey, they were playing the Commanders and the Packers. Every other team that wasn't playing anyone good still at least showed up. Like the Saints showed up against the Cardinals. They could have actually won the game against the Cardinals. There were not any other team that looked more pathetic on the field this week other than the Miami Dolphins. So they got to be this week's biggest losers. Hey, make sure to comment down below your own winners and losers this week. Also, like I said, leave a like. It helps out the channel a lot. And maybe consider subscribing if you enjoyed this week. And like I said, come back for the next week's biggest winners and losers. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next video. Peace out. Bye.